Up next on Running, the program that showcases athletes in action. One might say it begins here, on the pavement, the painting of the blue line. Following that blue line will get you from the starting line to the finish line in the New York City Marathon. And for many, it ends here. Marathon Monday, the day after the 26.2-mile five-borough adventure, an engraved finisher medal that represents a lifetime of marathon memories. In between the blue line painting and the engraving of the medal, enough to fill your plate many times. The marathon has become a multi-day festival, drawing runners, family, and friends for a non-stop New York City experience. First up, Friday night. The marathon opening ceremony presented by United Airlines. The Parade of Nations, an Olympic-like opening day celebration with marchers from many of the more than 100 countries represented in the field. The non-U.S. country with the largest contingent of runners is France, with 3,300. On the other end, the countries of Cyprus, Liberia, and Montenegro have one each. The evening is capped with the marathon fireworks presented by Poland Springs, electrifying the crowd and the red-hot atmosphere. The next morning, the elite women are first to the line, adjacent to the United Nations, for a 5K to the marathon finish line in Central Park. The dash to the finish line. A total of 16 Olympians in the field. Now, the men ready. Following them will be thousands of international fitness runners who want to be part of the New York City Marathon experience. Up 6th Avenue, it's training partners Molly Huddle, Emily Infeld, and Shalane Flanagan. Flanagan was second in the 2010 New York City Marathon, and she is America's top marathoner. A right turn off 42nd Street and up 6th Avenue, pulling the pack, Alistair Gregg of Ireland. They went through the first mile in 4:27. Nick Willis on the left in yellow, emboldened by his 5th Avenue mile win 6 weeks earlier, blindsides leader Sam Chalanga. Willis has a kick which cannot be answered. Willis, 13:46, a new course record. The rest of the field heads up those final yards, reveling in the now personal experience of being part of Marathon Weekend. And the rainbow of the international presence reaches ground level. Over the final yards, the yellow line of the Boston Marathon joins the blue line of New York in a show of solidarity and support. Boston strong and New York City strong. Run for life, wherever you reside on the planet Earth. A must-stop on this non-stop weekend, the Health and Fitness Expo at the Javits Center. Get your running number here, plus any and all essentials, many of which you didn't know you needed until now. The opening ceremony, dash to the finish, and the expo, you're almost ready to get to that starting line. Saturday night, the Marathon Eve dinner at the Marathon Pavilion, just adjacent to the finish line. Eat, drink, share. Don't try to fight getting in the spirit. It's hopeless. It's Marathon Weekend. Finally, race day. Staten Island on the left, with the Verrazano Bridge over New York Bay to Brooklyn, and Manhattan, 26 miles and a zillion heartbeats away. Down to where the rubber meets the road. The first action of the day, the men's wheelchair division is off the line. Conditions are cold and windy, making it especially tough for the chairs. The bridge challenges with the longest uphill on the course. Following the men, The women wheelers fight gravity and a strong headwind, which is not going to go away anytime soon. Number 301, Kurt Burnley, 3 times a winner here, and Ernst van Dijk, the 2005 winner, pushed together to get rid of any pretenders early.
Start flying on the other side.
Are you ready to run? On your marks!
Now, the elite men and the first of the mass waves, with more than 50,000 expected to answer the cannon. The Verrazano welcomes the field on both the upper and lower levels. There are a total of 4 waves, allowing for a somewhat orderly welcome to New York. Order is essential at the top level of wheelchair racing. You take your turn at the front and then pull off and let the next guy fight the wind. Tatiana McFadden has no such help. She took the lead on the Verrazano and now looks up the blue line to more than 20 miles solo. Tatiana is going for the Grand Slam, an unprecedented accomplishment in the sport. She has wins in London, Boston, and Chicago, and New York could be her series MVP. It's shoulder to shoulder on the Verrazano. It will be over 5 miles into the course before you can find the daylight you need to establish your pace. In any case, what's the rush? For the lead women, absolutely rush hour. Stay in contact and use as little fitness capital as you can. It will come in handy later. The men's wheelchair win is down to 5 at the 24-mile mark. Already, each individual athlete is working on the strategy for the final yards. It's a moving chess game at over 20 miles per hour. To First Avenue in Manhattan, Priska Jeptu runs in third. Up ahead, out of sight, Buzunesh, Diba, and Tigges Tufa. The lead men stayed together over the 59th Street Bridge, all knowing that when they get to First Avenue, the surging will begin. Jeptu catches the fading Diba and moves into the lead with 2½ miles to go. The lead men have surprisingly stayed together as they cross the Willis Avenue Bridge into the Bronx, with the 20-mile mark just up ahead. A quarter mile to go for the wheelers. Van Dijk, Hoog, Burnley, Hokanoe, and Sojima. Hoog outflanks the others, goes to the outside, and takes the tape. Tatiana McFadden has done it. The New York win earns her the Grand Slam, and she soloed the entire course. Fourth Avenue in Brooklyn is a long straightaway, and more than 10 miles of the 26.2 are run in Brooklyn. Priska Jeptu wins New York and the World Marathon Major Crown for a $625,000 payday. At 22 miles, it's down to 2. Stanley Biwott, closest to the camera, and Jeffrey Mutai, defending champion. The first wave reaches the 20-mile mark. As far as the field is concerned, he's already cashed his check. There were nearly 100,000 applicants to get a starting number, and the total number who have crossed the finish line in the first 42 years is nearing 1 million. The finish line, always a sweet sight, regardless of the time on the clock. The 43rd New York City Marathon, the biggest and best in the world.